Sun, moon, stars. Welcome to another week of Being a Tepid Mess, the show where we try to keep it together while being not hot, but tepid messes. I'm Niamh and I'm joined here by my co-host Sonja.
Hello.
Hi. How are you on this lovely wet evening?
Good. Recovered from no electricity.
I know. I literally arrived at Sonja's house to do the record and we were sitting in darkness with candles there for a little while. Well,
It was romantic.
It was romantic. It was really cute while we shared a can of Monster.
Yeah.
By candlelight.
I feel like that's really indicative of our friendship. It's like there's no romantic dinners.
No.
And things like that. It's like just a can of Monster, a candle, and maybe a vape.
Yeah. And an elf bar. Yeah. Oh my God. How's your week been?
Good, yeah, not too bad. I mean, well, it's been a week of highs and lows. Well, highs, dramatic.
Okay.
Maybe that's a dramatic way to describe it, because it really was like a nothing week.
Yeah.
I think from Monday onwards, I started to come down with the cold that everyone in Ireland seems to be getting.
The whole island is sick. I literally woke up this morning just completely unable to breathe through my nose.
Oh, so. I literally woke myself up with such a startling snore that I actually thought I was going to jump out the bed. I went...
You know it's bad when you wake yourself.
It was just... I haven't had such a black nose. I literally woke up and I had propped pillows to nearly put myself upright. So that I felt like I wasn't so... Because literally, I felt like when I was lying on my side, which I'm prone to do, I was just...
snotting.
Leaking. Like I was like, this is the most vile thing.
Oh my
ever.
God. I had like a sneeze attack. We were at a 30th birthday party last night, which was great crack. It was so fun. But I could feel myself getting a bit sniffly there. And thank God I ran into the bathroom to blow my nose. And lads, when I say I sneezed and I snotted myself, I've never seen so much mucus come out of an orifice. My good God. I was like, thank God this happened in the bathroom. I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, and then I had the paranoids all night. I was like, if I sneeze, it's going to be not great. Yeah. How are you feeling now?
Not too bad. I feel a lot better now. I think, I started to clear up definitely like the day before yesterday was probably Wednesday and Thursday were my worst days. Yeah. So for the most part, like I just spent most of my time just working and sleeping and being a miserable little hoe. Yeah. So I was just like, it's so bad. Yeah. And like I'm definitely, do you know those Nana Land things like, who's that wonderful girl? Yeah. There's so many, like these videos, I honestly, they're like my comfort show.
Every time they come up on my For You page on TikTok, I think of you.
Because I'm obsessed. Yeah. Like, I love them so much. And there's one recently, it's like that little, it's like how I expect my boyfriend to take care of me when I have the slightest sniff. It's like, here, Birdie, I'll take care of you, Birdie. And I was like, Eric, I'm Birdie. I'm
Birdie. Do you have any like cold or flu like remedies that you typically go to?
Whiskey and lemsip.
Yeah, together.
Yeah.
Babe, your liver is going to start crying.
I had a lovely night's sleep. I just, a sachet of lemsip. I actually recommend this to people as well. So like, I probably should have checked this with the pharmacist before I was telling my boss to go home and have a lemsip and throw in a shot of whiskey. It was like an ex-boyfriend.
Babe.
Yeah, it's all for the health.
Yeah,
it's all. Do you know, like it can't hurt. I didn't die.
Yeah,
and I've done it many times.
In my house, we're total albus oil fans. I swear to God, my bedroom just smells like eucalyptus, just albus oil on everything.
Yeah. There's a lot of things like, isn't there? Like, people talk about like fucking chewing ginger and I do make the lemon tea. I like tea, just like hot water, lemon.
Yeah.
Honey.
The ginger shot thing. Have you seen these ginger and turmeric shots?
I've seen, like, they're like little juice things.
Yeah, right? Like tiny little shots of them. I'm just like, have you ever tried one?
I've had a few, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, girl, no, like, they're just misery, like, that's just pure, like, we weren't put on this earth for that.
But we were talking last week about Sambuca, and
Yeah.
I would 100% rather take an orange and ginger shot
Yeah.
over a Sambuca shot. But that being said, you don't really get the same lovely benefits.
So true. So true.
Of an orange and
ginger shot. You were sick this week. Did you get up to anything fun?
So as you said, went to a 30th yesterday, which was really nice. A lot of fun. Yeah. I'm sure you'll have a bit more to say about it because you were the mastermind behind the whole event. But yeah, like, honestly, and based on our topic from last week as well, I got really hardcore into romantasy books. Yes. And I started reading a new series called Covenant.
Okay.
I can't pronounce the woman who's made a name. Jennifer Armenant or something.
Okay.
I don't know. Some nonsense.
Jenny A.
I'm sure. Jenny A from the block.
Yeah.
And this book, right? I got through my first book in like less than a day, and then I got through the second book, and I'm reading them on my phone because my tablet died and I've just been too lazy all week to charge it. But I was reading these books. Do you want to know when the spice started? The actual proper spice. Like, there's hints of it. They're like, from like the first page of the first book, she's like, I'm a virgin. I was like,
oh jeez,
oh, here we go.
Yeah.
I was like, nice. We're about to see some like good old, like, what's it called? Like, corruption. And this book I got through, I'm nearly finished I'm on the 4th book now.
And it's only kicking in now.
They just had sex.
Oh jeez.
Now,
that's a lot of development.
In a love triangle, very good. But if you're going to read it just for the spice, don't bother your whole. It's not worth it. And the description, like, I've read a lot of the books that she's written. Like, this woman has like a ton of series out.
Yeah.
But not my vibe.
Not it.
Not my vibe. I mean, that being said, I'm hooked and I'm going to have to finish it.
Yeah.
Because
I get like that with books as well. Like, sometimes I'm like, I'm actually not enjoying this, but I'm just such a stubborn bitch that I'm like, I will finish this. You will not defeat me.
Yeah.
Even though no one's having fun. Do you know? I'm not having fun. You know. I will finish it though. Yeah. By hell or high water, like.
Yeah. And I get that, honestly. But like with this book now, yeah, it's good. It's interesting. I really like those books that are based on like Greek mythology and have like references to like, you know, the Greek mythological gods and things like that. So that's what this book does. And nice. A lot of these books do tend to kind of reference that sort of mythology, Norse or Greek or whatever. And then for some reason vampires are always part of it. So
I mean, throw in a vampire for good measure.
So yeah, there's some vampires there. Nice. As well. So
any tepid mess moments this week?
Tepid mess moment. I think so. Our conversation last week, we were talking about, you know, like, oh, stinky, dirty boys and their outside clothes on our lovely beds and using our throw cushions as actual pillows, like, ugh.
Yeah.
I've realised I'm actually gross.
Oh.
And I think it's because, you know, the illness, and bear in mind, I have like these insane allergic, like I have like hay fever allergies to basically everything. So I'm just like constantly known to have tissues in my hand. Yeah. Like, it's just crazy. And with this, like, being sick over the last week, it was just hyperdrive. Like, I went through, I think, about 15 packets of tissues within like 2 days. And I realised I'm actually gross because I'm surrounding myself with tissues. And then I think my moment of like tepid mess, I was we were in the car today and Eric was like, oh, like, I can't remember, I think I went to go get something out of the back of the car or whatever, and I just threw the tissue without even thinking on the floor of my car, and he was like, ew, what? Did you just do that? I was like, oh my god, I'm disgusting.
Do you know what I used to be like that about? Do you remember in the height of COVID, like, I was so vigilant, like, with the masks and the washing of the hands and, like, you know, like, really, like, trying to reduce transmission and stuff. And I don't know what used to happen the minute I sat into the car, sure, all that went out the window, I'd whack the mask off and throw it on the ground. And I remember at one point, my passenger seat of my car was, you couldn't even see the ground. It was just all these masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really a moment of self-realization there, and I was like, I get so high and mighty about the most ridiculous stuff, and I'm the gal who's throwing tissues just left, right and centre. Like, there's been times when literally we've like shaken out our bed, our blanket to make the bed in the morning, and just like,
oh, do you know what? I feel like especially this week with the whole island being sick, I think a lot of people can relate to that this week. So in fairness, now we're all in the same boat. We're all in this together.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my dirty, gross moment today.
Yeah. Nice.
What about you? How was your week? Tell me.
My week was good. Yeah, my week was lovely. What did I get up to? Usual bits. I finished watching The Bear. Have you seen that TV series?
Oh, I've heard of it. I've not seen it.
Oh, Sonja, it's so good. Yeah. It's so good. Like, do you know when you finish a series and then you're trying to look for something new and nothing measures up?
Yeah.
I'm kind of in that moment now. It was so good. I really enjoyed it. And just like, the character development, number one, but number two, they obviously work in a kitchen. Yeah. So the kind of loose story is that this like almost Michelin star chef, his brother at home dies and leaves him his kind of like greasy spoon restaurant. So his Michelin star chef brother decides to move back to his hometown and really turn this place around, and it's just chaos. And it's just so good. So good. So I have a big gap in my life now. I had a new gym program done for me. And I'm really loving it. Yeah. Do you know when you like kind of like you switch up your gym program and then you're starting to feel the burn again? You're like, you wake up in the morning, you're like, oh, that hurts, but like in a nice way. Yeah. So that was really nice. And yes, obviously we had Shane's 30th yesterday, which was lovely. So so a lot of the week was kind of spent organising that, like, you know, organising balloons and the cake. And
that cake was so cool.
It was so
like
cool.
A red heart-shaped cake. Yeah. And then Niamh had gotten some cherries to like put on, and it had like a nice little 30 on it. It was very, very cool. Did you buy that?
Yeah, actually a local woman that I know made it for me. She's a dinger. It's not her full-time gig. This is just like a hobby that she does. But cool. She's so good at it. And like the actual cake itself was red velvet, and it was A1 chef's kiss. Yeah. So good. And it was, come here, it was actually so gas. I'd say the bar that we held the 30th in, I emailed them like back in, I'd say November, just to be like, hey, just organising a 30th. Would it be all right if we came up and had some balloons and whatever? They're like, yeah. Like, what are the numbers like? And I gave them the numbers. Yeah, no problem. You're in the diary. And when I say, Sonja, we rocked on. So myself and two other friends rocked on with like the balloons and like some banners and some confetti. And they were like, hello? I'd say they'd totally forgotten, you know. And we just essentially took over this small bar. And like to the point where people were like, did you rent the whole bar? I was like, no. So I'd say they were a bit shell shocked when we arrived, and the amount of people that arrived. Like, they definitely didn't have enough staff on to cope at the bar. Yeah. But everyone had a great night.
It was so nice. Yeah. And it was a great bar. It was cool.
It was really sweet. Yeah, it was lovely. It was Rosie Madison's on the Bandon Road. So if you're ever hosting an event, lads, give them a look in, because they're so nice. They couldn't have done enough. Honestly, they were lovely. And off then for a bop. Yeah. For a bit of a boogie in the nightclub afterwards. Boogie. So we'd gas crack then, going for a bit of a dance afterwards. Yeah. So and do you know what? I hate being that smug bitch, but I actually am not that bad today, hungover wise. I'm absolutely fine.
Oh, I'm bad.
Are you bad?
I'm doing better than I was about a few hours ago, but I think the Monster and then also drinking coffee really helps. So, yeah, I've been struggling. I'm feeling my age now lately.
Yeah. Come here. Yeah. Sometimes you can even feel it on a night out. You're like, one more drink now and tomorrow's going to be a nightmare. Yeah. Do you know?
Yeah. It's just like, I think it's nearly more the tiredness.
Yeah.
That gets me more than anything else. But then you lie down to go for a nap and it's like, no, forget about it. Like, you just can't get to sleep, you know? So yeah, I think I'll sleep well tonight now. I think next weekend now I really need to not be hungover.
Yeah. Let's do a wholesome weekend next weekend.
Yeah.
I think that'd be nice.
Let's go to like a farmer's market.
Oh, that'd be really sweet. Yeah. Or like, if the weather allows, I think we should like do like a cute little hike.
Yeah.
Your face. So for the benefit of the podcast, Sonja's eyebrows just knitted together I was like, yeah.
Like, I don't mind. I certainly don't. Like, I like going for, like, long walks, and I like going on hikes and things like that. I do really enjoy it. But ever since going out with my boyfriend, like, it takes it to an extreme level where I'm, like, questioning, am I going to die at this point? Because, like, you're not just hiking, you're climbing. You're on your hands and knees. You're like you're escaping peril.
Babe, I'm saying now Ballycotton cliff walk now or something.
Lovely.
Like,
I'm there for that.
Stunnalina.
I love it. Yeah, I'm definitely there for that.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm trying to think of a tepid mess moment, and again, I'm going to be a smug bitch. I'm trying to think. I don't think I did. Maybe nearly snotting myself in public was... Yeah. That could have been a bit gross. But honestly, I think I was very well put together now this week, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Nice. We can have good weeks.
We can have good weeks.
We don't always have to be
Yeah.
hot or tepid messes. You know, sometimes we're just fighting for our lives. Just getting through. Surviving, thriving.
Oh, stop. I know. Actually, I didn't have a tepid mess moment, but my mother did. I could not stop laughing at her. So she attended a doctor's appointment in the hospital with my grandfather, who'd be quite elderly now. So, you know, it's no harm that he has a family member present for, you know, when doctors are talking to him, because Granda could come out and forget exactly what was, like, completely forget what it was said to him. So Mom went and she was chatting to this doctor, and like Grandad was saying, she just kind of cocked her head and was kind of looking at him weird. And she was like, is your wife's name blah, blah, blah? I can't even remember what the wife's name was. I don't know, Marie. And he was like, yeah. It's like, and your children's names are, I don't know, make up names, Mark and Laura. Yes. And you live at this address, don't you? And he was like, yeah. She's like, Jesus, your son used to be in my son's class. I've been up at your house 100 times. I've always seen you in the family photos. Your man nearly lost the rag. I'd say he thought my mother was going to turn up to his house or something. Literally. I swear to God. I was like, could you not just have said in your head, oh, I know him, and leave it at that? No. She should be like, I've seen your family pictures in your house.
It's like, I know where you keep your knives.
Yeah. I've seen your laundry out in the line. They're nice knickers you have. Do you know what I mean? I was like, mother, my God.
Yeah.
She's like, what?
Oh, so, it's something else with Irish mammies, though, isn't it? I mean,
so true.
Yeah.
So true. Right, so do you want to get into the theme?
Let's do it. Woo! I'm really excited for this one.
Me too. Okay, so the theme for this week is astrology.
Woo!
Whoop-a-poo. Okay, so did you always believe in astrology?
I think I went through that, like, I'm not like other girls kind of thing, where I was like, astrology is bullshit. And, like, to be honest, like, when it comes to astrology, I'm not basing my opinion of someone's whole personality and who they are based on astrology. Sure. Like, I'm not going to be like, you're a Scorpio? I hate Scorpios. But, like, I just enjoy the topic. I think it's really fun. It's interesting. I know that they, like, the whole concept of star signs and this, that, and the others, they make the like, what's it called, like, the characteristics so vague that you could kind of apply
to anyone,
to yourself in some way, one way or the other. But I really enjoy it. I think it's a fun topic. I think it's so cool. Like, it's just nice to equate things to, like, I think
it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of fun.
And I think, like, you know, there's sometimes parts of me that are like, just to think that they're, like, to play around with the idea that there's a higher order and there's a universe at play that's influencing who you are as a person and all this. I love that. I think it's so nice. Like, I think we're also fucking pessimistic sometimes, and so, like, I don't know, it's just nice to think of that, like, higher purpose or that higher idea. So
I feel like I wouldn't really be kind of, like, too knowledgeable or know a lot about astrology, but when I do see, you know, when you're having a crap week and someone goes, Mercury's in retrograde, and you're like, oh, thank God, that explains everything. Not the consequences of my own actions or failings. Mercury's in retrograde. That is the reason I'm having a crap week. Like, I feel like when I'm having a bad day, I'm like, sure, look, it's out of my control. It's in the stars. You know?
Yeah, I love as well, like, I get so many of these TikToks because I'm like a tarot card and one of those astrology hoes that are, like, all over my For You page, and it's like, I love when it tells me, like, good things are coming my way, like massive wealth and great fulfillment and all this. I'm like, claim.
Girl, I'm like, thank God it's only like you and a handful of friends that follows my personal TikTok, because like I'd be here commenting on stuff, claim this energy, like interact 3 times, I'd be liking it, I'd be flipping. Oh, girl, I get the paranoids that if I scroll past these things, it's like if you don't comment or you don't like it, then your whole life's going to fall apart. I get the paranoids. I'm like, sure, look, I might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well comment. Claiming the energy. I swear to God.
I know. I always get these ones. Like lately, I started getting a lot of ones that were like someone who you think is very close to you.
Oh my God,
is praying for your downfall and is plotting your downfall and is like consulting with the stars to make sure that you're squashed. And I'm like,
in your mind, do you know who that is?
I do. The first thing you're like, a name pops up
straight away. You're like, I bet that's that fucking wagon. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I fucking knew that bitch had it out for me. I'm like, well, joke's on her, Debbie.
I have now liked and commented.
Yeah, I've warded myself from your bad juju.
Would you be into like woo-woo stuff in general? You know, woo-woo like crystals and like...
Crystals I never understood.
Okay.
I don't know, I just never, like, I love the concept, and like, again, it's just, I know that people are gonna be like, well, like, this is such a girly topic, or like, not even that it's a girly subject and it's like a stupid, like, you know, like airy fairy thing. I just think it's so nice to entertain the idea of there's just something more than the hardcore facts, and your brain, your personality is just because your brain was wired in a certain way. You could probably explain it better than me, but like, I certainly don't think that like how your like your brain and your soul and all that kind of stuff is composed and who you are as a person. Like, we'd all be the same if that was the case, you know, and we're not. And so the woo-woo stuff, like, I'm not going to be going out there casting curses and hexes on people. That's not going to happen. But I like to talk about it. I think it's really interesting. I love when people are really interested in it and have, like, information about it. I love that.
Yeah.
What about you?
You know what? I for sure... I don't really know where I stand on it, because, like, I have a friend, Kate, who's really into, like, you know, crystals and, like, astrology. And honestly, I just think it brings me so much comfort sometimes when she's like, here's a little crystal for good luck.
Aww,
do you know? It just, and it's like, this is really good intention. And you know what? It's not going to do me any harm. Let's give it a bop.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm like, I just think it's a nice thing, you know? Yeah. I have to say, though, I remember, like, I don't really know that much about Reiki, right? But I feel like Reiki was like a really big thing in the early 2000s, right?
Is that like the energy
fields?
Okay.
Yeah. So my dad and one of his really close friends did a course on to be Reiki masters, right? Listen to this now, son. You couldn't make this crap up, right? And... do you know, growing up, you know, if you were worried about something, or, you know, like, I was a child, like, you know, if you worried about school or something, Dad would be like, sit down there now and do a bit of Reiki on you. And in my mind, I was like, sure, it's all going to be fine. I've been Reiki'd. It's grand.
That sounds a little close to something that you probably don't want to happen to.
Listen, right? So I remember we were down on holidays with my dad's friend's family, and I asked if I could bring my friend Claire on this holiday. So, like, 'cause they were all boys, and obviously I only have a brother. So I was like, oh, can I bring, like, Claire so that I'll have a little girl pal to hang out with? So brought Claire on holidays, and Neil and my dad went into the front room of one of the houses that we were renting and was doing some kind of Reiki session. And I remember Claire turning to me being like, what are they doing? They're like, oh, Reiki. Because I was like, oh, it's just a really common occurrence in my house. It's grand. And I remember Claire just turning to me, like, mouth hanging open, eyes wide, and was like, is this like a cult? I was like, Jesus, I never thought about it like that. Maybe I am in a cult. Like... literally,
I don't know. Yeah, like, there's loads of things things like that. I'm a really, like, I have to say, I'm a huge believer in, like, the universe. Like, I always have this thing, I'm like, the universe will tell you whether you're on the right path or not. Like, through very subtle signs. It's not like, you know, you're not going to get fucking glowing green signs being like, thumbs up, good job. And I think you're never going to get the universe telling you, like, when you need to do something or what you should do. But I think, like, we've talked about this before. I think what I found, I was going through, like, a patch of my life where I doubted myself and what I should do, and so much for so long, and, like, really, really doubted it. And I remember I used to just, like, it was even something silly, like, I'd be sitting at a traffic light, and I'm like, okay, if I should do this thing, make the light go green right now. Okay. And obviously, like, I mean, first of all, traffic lights are timed, so...
It's gonna go green.
It's gonna go green at some stage. But also, like, it was just, I was trying to find something else to guide my decisions. Yeah. And then I kind of ended up biting the bullet, just doing what I felt I needed and wanted to do. And it was hard making that decision because everyone else was like, what the fuck are you thinking of? Like, and, like, there was just a lot of, like, decisions that I made that a lot of people were like, would they, like, you know, advising against me doing it or questioning it or not. And, like, all with the best intentions in mind. Yeah. But the universe, I felt, really rewarded me for it. Like, I mean, it was that even making the decision to, like, move to Dublin at a time when I probably needed it, from everyone else's perspective, to be surrounded by family and friends. Yeah. And I was just like, no, I'm going to do it. I think it's the right thing to do. And once I started trusting myself and kind of following what I felt the universe intended for me, I started getting a lot of rewards from it. Like, you know, I just felt like good things were happening and it just kept getting more positive and stuff like that. So I really believe that. I really do. I'm like, the universe will provide in some way. It'll tell me if I'm going the right direction. Like, it's not going to be that, you know, it's gonna be sunshine outside the next day if I'm making a good life choice. But I do feel that a lot, and I know that's woo witch magic to some people, and I get that, but I just need to believe. I definitely have this belief that there's something that's bigger than just we're sitting on a floating rock, and through pure coincidence and the absolute sheer science of it all. So I hold on to that. I hold on to the universe.
Sometimes I do, like, cause like I feel like one kind of interest that I have is like astrophysics. And do you know, like, when you're kind of learning about kind of essentially like black holes and like how we're, do you know, just like essentially just loads of atoms and like I do get a bit existential sometimes. I'm like, Jesus, we're all just sacks of meat on a floating rock in the middle of nothing.
Yeah, you get very like nihilistic or something. Yeah.
So I kind of think like all this stuff like astrology and, you know, thinking that there's a higher power and, you know, everything has a reason and fate and stuff like that. I think that brings a lot of comfort to the human experience.
Yeah, and like, look, I mean, it's the same with like faith and, you know, mythology and stuff like that. Like, I have a huge interest in like Greek mythology, and it's not me being like, oh, absolutely, like, you know. This, that, and the other, but like I just think it's just so interesting. Like, we all have methods of like clinging on to reasons as to why we're doing this thing that's life, and why are we going through these motions and stuff like that. Like, I just think it, like you said, it provides comfort and faith and things like that. But astrology.
Okay, right. Do you want to kick it off? Right. So what we start with we have loaded up our birth charts here.
Yes.
So we're gonna have a little read off them. Do you want to start with yours?
Sure. Let's do it. So this is, I think that's your one.
Okay, that's my one.
Yeah.
And here is you. Okay.
So we're using it's an app. Normally it's called CoStar.
Yeah.
And you can like connect with your friends and whatever on it. But they have a website as well that we were able to get our charts.
Yeah.
So my sun is in Sagittarius, so my birthday is in December. Basically your sun is determining your ego, identity, and role in life, and it's the sign you're most likely to know. So it's the Sagittarius, you know.
So what's a characteristic about Sagittariuses? I know that like they're really like bubbly and outgoing.
I think the big thing is like adventure.
Yeah.
Not liking to be tied down and quite independent.
Yeah.
And I can definitely identify with a lot of that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I definitely don't think I'm not. Sometimes with Sagittarius, again now, I was just about to be like, they're supposed to be like these freewheeling, like woo-woo witch doctor people, and I've just spent about 5 minutes talking about how I believe in the universe. So maybe I'm a little more Sagittarius than I like to tell people. But I think the independence thing is a really big thing. Like, I think for me anyway, I've noticed in my life, I thrive a lot. Like, I'm very independent. I can very much, like, I don't feel comfortable being tied down to situations, and like, I'm very much that person. I'm like, if this sucks, I'll leave.
Yeah.
If this sucks, I'll do something else. Like, I'll figure it out. But either way, if I don't like it, I'm not sticking around. Like, I don't want to feel like I'm trapped by anything.
Sure.
So definitely, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Then on the ascendant side, so apparently ascendant is how you present yourself to people. So it's like your mask.
Okay, like how you present yourself to the world.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So how people see you, what they think when they talk to you. And mine is Cancer.
Oh, Cancer are like really like emotional, aren't they?
Yeah, so I think we're little sensitive babies. Which honestly would make most people that I know laugh, because I cry so much. Like, I mean, the first episode I talked about the fact I was cycling up a hill and crying. So yeah, I cry. I cry a lot. I'm a sensitive little baby. But
good.
One thing as well with Cancer that I definitely feel anyway is very intuitive. I think I do. And now maybe, I mean, this could also be considered judgmental, right? But I think I do kind of tend to perceive people very quickly.
You're a very good judge of character.
Yeah, like I think so. I think so. I think I get like I definitely, I'm always like, they give me a good vibe or bad vibe.
I feel like there's been times in our life where I'm like, no, they're so nice, and you're like, and then in like 6 months time, Sonja's like, I don't want to say I told you so, but
I am that person. And like, for me again, the Sagittarius side of it is just like, if I don't like that person, I just won't hang out with them. Like, I don't need to drama over it, but I don't have to be bound by anyone. So then on the I think I identify with the Cancer side of it then, because I definitely think I see these things, and maybe it's unfair of me because I don't really give people the chance to like change my mind. Like, I think I do build a very quick perception. Yeah. And if it's a negative one, or if it's one that I'm like, not my vibe. Yeah. It's very, like, for me then, for someone to turn, like, it's not, nobody has to make me like them. Like, that's the first thing. Like, I don't expect anyone, I don't need us all to be best friends. I don't hate anyone, which is a good thing. Yeah. But, yeah, I think I can be very quick to kind of be like, okay, you're someone I'll probably never hang out with. That's okay. And
that's okay too. That's good.
Yeah, that's it. So that's ascendant.
That's your ascending sign.
And then moon then, so is basically how you see yourself. It's like your innermost kind of like how you perceive yourself when you're alone. Yeah. And it tends to be a more true reflection of who you are as a person, because it's, but like, to yourself and how you are. So I'm Aquarius. Yeah. So what does Co-Star have to say about that? So my emotional self, again, intuitive, observant, detached, and rational. So I identify with all of these. You know, even like I said, I do think that I can be very, like, you know, I watch people, I sense vibes. Yeah. I don't get so emotionally like obsessive about a lot of things. So
I just read the end of this description here. So Sonja's moon is in Aquarius, and it just says, it's in your 8th house, don't know what that means, meaning you find security and safety through darkness, taboos, rebirth, sex, and transformation. What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Jesus.
If anyone has any more knowledge, apart from us doing like a 30-second scan of a website on what the 8th house and all these things, I'd love, do you know, in Indian culture, and I'm so sorry because I want us to go through your chart as well, but in Indian culture, because a friend of mine is getting married at the minute, well, soon, and I didn't realize this, but in Indian culture, your astrological signs are so important.
No way.
Everything about who you are is determined by when and how and like where you were born.
That's so cool.
So like, even things like your wedding date there's an astrologer that comes and will determine and define the best time for you to get married based on the married couples, and like when you should get engaged, and they follow it so strictly. Yeah. So like, I swear to God, it's genuinely, I had no idea. It was my friend that was explaining it to me, because I was like, so when are you getting married? He's like, we're still waiting for the astrologer to tell us when we do it. I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
So I think like it's so interesting. So I would love to go to like someone who's like I feel like Indian culture, obviously it's a huge thing. I'd love
that'd be
to
amazing.
Like, have a very authentic sort of like charting and understanding of
Oh, Sonja, did I ever tell you about the time? So you know, I think we all did it when we were in college, that you just pop your head into a lecture that was not on your course.
Yeah.
Me and my friend Claire decided that we got mixed up with what astronomy and astrology were, right? So there was this astronomy lecture, right? And we were like, oh, let's go, cool. And this was like a mature student kind of grad kind of thing that was on at nighttime, like a graduate course.
Yeah.
And so we had our dinner, went into this thing thinking we'd be like, oh, here's how, cancers do life, And it was astronomy, so it was very much talking about like the stars in the sky and why they're significant. And they were like, and I bought this new telescope and look at these images. And then at the end, it was the most, because it was, I'd say the median age in there now was about 63. Like, as in, it was kind of an older crew. And it's like, and I'm just going to pop up on the screen here some pictures of our group trip to Rome where we met the papal astronomer. I was like, this is too cute. Like, literally just this priest with a telescope and this gang. I was like, oh my God. But me and Claire were just like, what have we walked into? But it was so funny. It was actually the cutest thing ever. So yeah, just so you know, there is a papal astronomer. Yeah. I was like, God, the Pope loves star signs. No.
There must be something. Like, I'm sorry. I mean, okay, look. Woo-woo witch magic. Once again, Christianity. But like, it's like, there just must be something. Like, it's just, there's something. There has to be something. I hold on to that. I can't take this. Like, I just can't. I can't do the whole, like what atheism thing. I totally get it. Like, most of my family are atheists. But I'm just like, I need something. Yeah. Like, I hold on to it. I need to know there's a plan. And even if I'm like a little speck or not even a dot on the line of the world, like, it's part of something. Yeah. It's part of something.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah. So those are my signs. I mean, there's a ton of others. Like, there's Mercury in your Venus, this, that, and the other in your like Mars and all this.
Take me to your planet. Take me to your Venus.
We're not going to go through all that because we'd be talking for like 6
hours. So true.
So let's go through yours and see what you're connecting with and what you're not. So what's your sun?
So my sun is Virgo, so I'm mid-September. So it says you're particularly smart. Oh, God. Don't get me started. Responsible, hardworking, self-sacrificing. You're thorough, meticulous, intentional in everything you do, and you can accomplish things that most people can't, but may also get bogged down by the details of your day-to-day. Okay, so yeah, like, I mean, I think I do particularly relate to Virgo. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I think so, for sure. Like, knowing you,
I'm just like anal about everything.
But even here, right, just based on the conversation we had earlier, there's a line here. You have a need to be wholesome.
Yeah.
We literally were just let's do a little wholesome weekend next week so we don't feel like dirty little rats.
You've no idea. Like I am at my happiest. Like, honestly, my ideal day is like wake up, go to the gym, go to the sauna afterwards, meet someone for brunch, go for a little walk around the shops, come home, have a lovely dinner, watch a movie. Like, honestly, that is my ideal day. Do you know? I do love a bit of wholesomeness. I'm in my mumsy era. I'm in my mumsy candle era.
Oh, so Club Rat is
Club Rat
slowly phasing herself out, or how's that going? Club Rat fit in here because we're like feral cats and we go on weekends and stuff.
Literally, like, and even last night, like, me and you dancing to Mamma Mia as if we were performing on the West End. Like, Mamma Mia by ABBA came on, and me and Sonja were like this. Okay, everyone clear the dance floor. Like, no, Club Rat Niamh does make an appearance every now and again, but by and large, I feel like I'm in my wholesome aesthetic era. Yeah.
Fair. Right, let's do your ascendant.
Okay, so my ascendant is Sagittarius. No. So I present myself to the world as a Sagittarius. So, okay, let's see. Your ascendant is in Sagittarius. Okay, so I come across as independent, optimistic, and confident, though sometimes overly blunt or critical. Generally charming conversationalist, your free-spirited approach may come off as restless or easily bored. Yeah.
Do you identify with that?
I mean, yeah, I think so. I think in social situations, I tend to be quite confident. But yeah, I definitely can come across a little bit blunt sometimes. I think I just say things as they are, and then I'm like, oh God, that probably wasn't the best delivery of that now, was it? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think definitely kind of like the whole piece, like charming conversationalist, kind of Yeah, I think you've got like a really nice, you're a very charismatic person for sure. And I think what I find interesting about your ascendant, and there's a line there that says it becomes less relevant as you get older.
Yeah.
Because probably you don't mask so much.
Yeah.
Like as you get older, you don't feel the need to like mask your personality and show like a different part of yourself. So but I definitely do think that you've got this like charisma that's usually quite well known for Sagittarius, and like fun loving, and really like you are fun loving. Do you know, like you definitely have this like Sagittarius like vibe. I think
got that Sag riz.
Yeah. What's it someone said to us before, both of us actually, we know who, was like, you seem like you're really like, when I look at you from a distance, you look like you've really got your life together, and then I talk to you and you're just a mess. And it's
can I just say the phrase that was used, you're just chaos. I was like, how very dare you? Yeah. It's organized chaos.
Yeah. Let me tell you, that person has not a drop of Sagittarius in them.
Yeah.
Not a drop.
A drop.
Sagittarius OG. Anyway.
Okay, so my moon. Okay, so my internal environment is Pisces. Oh, okay. So meaning your emotional self is empathetic, dreamy, sensitive, and gentle. You feel vulnerable much of the time and desperately wish for a partner who deeply understands you. I identify with that. I am underneath all the riz and all the organization stuff. I'm a little needy bitch. Yeah. No, I do. I definitely, I would say kind of inside out, like, I am very gentle, like, you know, and like very kind of like, I would identify with dreamy a lot as well. Like, do you know?
Yeah. I think you care very deeply.
I do, for sure.
Care very, very deeply about people that are important to you, but also just things happening, and like I think it makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And like I do get to the point, like I probably like I need to cut it down, but I read the news every day, and sometimes honestly, Sonia, I'll go into bed like worried about what's going on in the world. Yeah, I'm like, okay, right. Yeah, so I definitely identify with the Pisces thing. Yeah. So do you want to see how our signs relate to each other?
Yes.
Yeah.
So don't judge us, but we have used ChatGPT to help us understand this, because honestly, I was doing all this Googling, and do you know, like, it was this bullshit websites like Cosmopolitan and stuff like that. Like, I felt like it was like Yahoo Answers, Cosmo, like I was like, there's nothing here that I totally trust as a source, and I was like, ChatGPT might also be full of shit, like absolutely, because it pulls all of its information from these websites and spits this out. But, you know, we're going to take it for what it is. So, based on what we talked about, the characteristics of you, which is a Sagittarius rising. So just as a quick point, what your ascendant or your rising sign apparently is supposed to be more of an indicator of how you are as a friendship, as opposed to your moon, because that's you by yourself. So the way you mask yourself to friends and stuff like that is supposed to be a good indicator. Now, we've known each other so long, I don't think we probably do mask ourselves the way that your ascendants do, but we're still going to take it as our compatibility and what our challenges are and stuff like that. So maybe you want to go through compatibility points.
Okay, so compatibility factors. Okay, so Sagittarius rising individuals, which is me, may bring excitement and a sense of adventure to the friendship. I would definitely agree with that, because I feel like I can be quite spontaneous. Like, my boyfriend sometimes gets the fear when we are in a room too long together, because we'll emerge from the room and be like, we actually just booked a holiday to Turkey there next week. We're all inclusive.
We bought tickets to the Pussycat Dolls on call. We never got to go. Fucking COVID, I swear to God, it's ruined everything.
Yeah, so I definitely feel like sometimes I can be responsible for being like, sure, fuck, we just do that. Yeah. Come on, we book it, come on.
Yeah, very much a lot of the times, it's like, I do think about it, because like the last piercings I've gotten have just been meeting Niamh for a coffee, and she's like, we go get piercing. I'm like, yeah, why not?
That was the same as tattoos. I was up with Sonja and I was like, are we just get matching tattoos? Would that be a bit of a scream? Come on, though. And this dodgy gaff, which actually turned out to be really good.
So nice.
Off O'Connell Street. And we were like, can we get tattoos?
Yeah.
Like,
so sound. But I definitely agree. I think you're definitely the one. I think I don't need a whole lot of convincing.
Yeah, I feel like we're very yes men to each other.
Yes. Yeah. And it just takes one little suggestion. It's like, we'd never do this, and then it's that little look that's like,
yeah. I have a look. I'm like, oh no, we couldn't possibly go for a drink, and then a little side eye. And he's like, would we? Would we?
It was when you came to Dublin to visit me once, and you arrived at like 10:30, and like by the time we gotten settled and everything, we had planned like a nice chill night.
Yeah.
And we were there drinking a glass of wine, but we were onto the battle at this point.
Yeah.
And like we were like, it was like 12 nearly, and we were like, we'd never go out. Would we? We're like, let's flip a coin.
Oh yeah.
The coin will decide. And I think the coin even landed on the side that said to stay in, and we were like, I'd say sack that off.
Sack it off.
And like we went out for like the last hour and a half, and we had so much fun. Like we did have so much fun, but I definitely think I think for sure I agree with that.
I agree with that too. Okay, Cancer rising individuals can provide emotional support and a sense of security in the friendship. They may offer nurturing and caring presence, which Sagittarius rising friends may find comforting. Oh, comforting. I think that's so true.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I feel like because I'm such like a logical person, when I get emotional or upset, I like don't know what to do with it or where to put it. And I feel like you are probably one of the very few people who can just be like, right, here we go, let's talk this down. Yeah, you're very good. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes I feel like sometimes I am a little emotionally dense. Well, I feel I'm perceptive of emotions, and like I try to be there, but I think I'm also like I think it's that whole thing, like your moon is like detached. So sometimes I'm like, I don't realize that we need to have the conversation or something. No, that's good. I'm glad.
I think that's accurate. So both rising signs value loyalty and authenticity in their friendships. That's so true.
So true.
Yeah. We are loyal.
Loyal babes.
Loyal. Yeah, so true.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know what I was just thinking when the term loyal came up? Like me and Sonja have been best friends for a very, very long time. But do you remember I went on a family holiday one time, and I was like, went away with my parents. I think I was 17, and I got us matching T-shirts. One said best, one said bitches. Literally.
Yeah, I still have it.
I think I'm best. You're bitches.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
We even tweeted a picture of the two of us.
So I was like, if I'm nothing, I'm loyal, with my best bitches T-shirts. Yeah, I took a picture of the two of us in them.
Yeah, we really upgraded them with the tattoos.
Yeah.
A lot more permanent.
Yeah. Let's take this another step further.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, challenges. Okay. Sagittarius rising's bluntness and straightforwardness may occasionally clash with Cancer's rising sensitivity.
Yeah, like Cancer rising individuals may feel hurt by Sagittarius risings. I think you can sometimes come out with your opinions, which is valid. Like, I mean, do you know, like in emotional situations, like, and like, I think I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm so sensitive to. I do sometimes, like, if someone's like telling me something that I just feel so strongly against, I'm like, I'm just. The only opinion I value is my own.
Yeah. It's like, well, you're wrong, but that's fine.
Yeah. Whether our feelings get hurt, I don't think so. But I think there have been times that, like, you know, I think even like there have been situations where you're like, look, in the best interest, like, I don't think you should be doing this. So, like, maybe don't do that right now. Like, maybe do this. And I'm like, I might just do it anyway. So I think it's more me just not being willing to take on board advice. But again, it's like I was saying before, sometimes I feel like the universe has really rewarded me just following my own path. So, and I think that's all anyone can do ever.
So true.
You know?
So true.
I don't think that you're so blunt or straight. Like, I think you're straightforward. I think you're very honest in how you feel, which I like. That's why I value your friendship so much, that you'll just tell me how you see it. But I don't think you're so blunt that
I think we share that though, Son, because like sometimes I'm like, do you want to like buy something new or like try out a new style or something? And everyone's like, yeah, it's lovely. Son, you'd be like, that is cat, put that in the bin. No, and I'm like, she's the only one who'll tell me the truth. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's like, Jesus. Like, and I'm like, yeah, well, that's the truth.
And you're the same, to be fair, like me with my eyebrow piercing.
Sonia turned to me and she's like, I think an eyebrow piercing would be a bit unreal, would it? And I was like, Sonia, let me tell you now, that would be ripped out of your face if I see you with an eyebrow piercing. We're not doing that.
So, you know, I think it goes both ways. We value that with each other, which I think is good. So, Cancer rising's need for emotional connection and security may sometimes conflict with Sagittarius rising's desire for independence and freedom. I don't know if I align so much with this Cancer. Like, I think we're both very independent. Like, we could talk every single day, or we could talk once in like 6 weeks. And I don't think anything would happen within our, like, no changes really in terms of, we just pick up where we belong.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I think, you know, again, that's the whole thing with the strategy. You take what means something and then you leave behind.
I think we're both fairly independent. Yeah. Okay, so last one there is Sagittarius rising's love for exploration and new experiences might lead to occasional unpredictability, which Cancer rising individuals may find unsettling. Do I unsettle you?
I mean, sometimes there's things you like again, it's that thing. Sometimes you're like, so then I just did this. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
So maybe to some extent, but again, like, unsettling seems like such a strong word. Like, I'm like, are you okay?
Yeah. So true. Okay, so what's our conclusion? So in conclusion, Sagittarius rising and Cancer rising individuals can form a friendship with a balance of adventure and emotional support, as long as they recognize and respect each other's differences. Communication and understanding will be key to navigating any potential conflicts. I think we're very good. Like, anytime something comes up, we deal with it like straight away. Yeah. I would say we've never had like a big fight.
No.
It's normally just like dealt with there and then.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, is everything okay? Or do you know?
Yeah.
I think, like, the handful of times that it's happened, thankfully, in touch wood, that's all that happens. But, like, you know, the handful of times something like that has happened, it's always been minor. Always. Like, it's never been like you fucked my brother, or you did this or whatever. It's never been something. No. But anytime there's been something like, oh, I feel like the vibe was off, or like, you were angry with me over something, it's been like, quickly resolved. Very,
very quick. Yeah, we're very good at like communicating our feelings. Let's see. Both signs have the potential to bring unique qualities to their friendship. If they can appreciate each other's distinct perspectives and needs, their friendship can be harmonious and enriching.
Nice. Yeah, it's cute. Yeah. I think it's one of those things, like, we've been friends for so long as well. I think that really contributes to, like, do you think that if we met each other today, would we? I think we still would connect.
Yeah, I do too.
But I wonder, would the masks that we have
get in the way?
Yeah. Like, sometimes I wonder that. Like, I don't wonder it so much because I'm like, well, that's not the reality of life. And we get on great, and it's just like, really, like, you know, I think of you as a sister more than anything else. So, like, I always think, but I think about that with other friends as well, because there's so many friends you can meet along the way that you're like, how are we friends? We're so different. Yeah. But then in the same way, like, you've so many connections and
history, you know, and like,
you know, you just bond and you connect, and
that's so nice, true. So. No, I think we'd find each other in any universe, Sonja.
Oh. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, do you want to talk about our partners? What star sign is Eric?
So we did his earlier. I think I actually closed the tab, but he is Aquarius.
Oh, nice.
So so it's his birthday soon, which is nice.
Would you say he's like a characteristic Aquarius? What are Aquariuses like?
So with Aquarius, I think it's like very deep thinking people.
Yeah.
Who value, like, I could be wrong, because we looked at his, like, you know, his rising, his moon and stuff like that, and a lot of the stuff that came up really did connect with him, because he's a very structured person.
Sure.
Takes a very logical approach to things. Can be very, like, you know, doesn't really like, you know, there's a lot of things that I can be, like, very emotionally driven, where he's very logically driven and stuff like that. So that can sometimes lead to good or bad things within, like, the relationship when you figure that out. But I think, like, I read something once that, like, we're a very adventurous couple, because whereas, like, Aquarius are not like these, like, stay-at-home homebody type of people. They do prefer routine and stuff like that, but they like as well, like, you know, if I'm like, let's go do this, like, he can very much, like, get on board with it. And I think that's influence.
My partner is probably the most, like, I've never met someone who completely does not relate to their sign at all. So my partner is a Leo, And he is like, I'm so mad about him, but he is the most un-Leo. Because, Leos are like center of attention, like the showman, like, that kind of thing. That is not him. He's a very chilled out, like, until you get to know him very well, he can come across quite quiet. And but then when you get to know him, he's a wicked sense of humor and stuff, but he's very understated. He's very like cool guy, he would hate to be the center of attention, you know.
And like I get that as well. I think with Leos as well, isn't it a whole thing about charisma?
Yeah.
And I do think that he has a charisma. Like obviously it's not that charisma that's like center of the room, but it's this very comforting type of charisma that you'd be drawn to that person if you're in a group of people and you're feeling a bit nervous. That's a very safe person to talk to and connect with. So I definitely do think maybe there's parts of that.
Definitely. And he's got kind of a quiet confidence about him. Like he's very sure of himself. Yeah. Do you know? Like he's like, sure. Yeah. I'm great. Yeah. Do you know? Yeah.
And like what does your partner think about astrology then?
Oh, he thinks it's absolute nonsense. Nonsense. Absolute nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah, mine now is the exact same. And I was like, let me pull up your chart.
Yeah.
What time were you born? All this, we were doing it earlier, and he was like, oh my god, like don't do it. But then he was still at the same time being like peeking in, like, what does it say? So I think it's like a curiosity, but I'm like, it's not so bullshit. It's very interesting.
Yeah. No, he thinks it's absolute nonsense. He's like, nah. Yeah. Okay, what, like, of all the signs, what's your favorite sign? What's your least favorite sign, and why?
That's tough. I see. I'm very narcissistic. I know my sign. I know like general tropes that are said about certain signs. So I think one is like Geminis can be quite two-faced. Can be quite like like inauthentic.
Okay.
Which I think for me is probably like a big no. Like I'm very much someone I value. I take people at face value. I try to present myself in a way that's face value. Yeah, I hate that kind of like, oh, so nice. And then that they're turning around and being like, did you fucking hear the shit that she's saying? I hate that. I hate that. Yeah. Probably for me, maybe Gemini.
Making me a Gemini. Do you know that? Come here. You know that Nadine Coyle clip where she's caught lying about her age? It's like, born 6th of January 1980, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, making me a Gemini. She's like, wait, what date of birth did I say? And she's just caught rotten.
Yeah. Probably Gemini. And then, I hear bad things about Scorpio. I don't have a problem with Scorpio for the most part. But
my mother's a Scorpio.
I think for me, probably Aries. Like, I think it's supposed to be that the fire signs all get along really well. And my sister's an Aries, and I love her, obviously. But I think Aries is a very fiery temperament that I don't have. I don't have like that like anger. Yeah. So like for me, I find that quite like intense. I'm like, oh. But like not in a way like I'm not scared of people or anything like that. But it's just more just like they can sometimes kind of put me on edge a small bit. Like when there's very intense situations or intense anger.
Sure.
But like again.
Yeah.
I don't really. Sagittarius.
Sag.
But yeah, Virgos as well, of course, but I don't have probably much knowledge on any of the others. Yeah. What about you?
Okay, so I think my favourite are actually Libras. I've never met a Libra and didn't like.
Yeah. What's the characteristics?
That they're like very balanced. They're quite flirty. They're quite fun. Like, they kind of see all sides of like the story. Like, I just think they're lovely. Yeah, it's a nice sign. They're always very, well-rounded people and just good fun. Nice. Yeah. And I think I remember before everyone like saying about Capricorns. Do you know, like as in that
they're like power hungry.
Yeah. But my best friend, like one of my best friends is a Capricorn, and we get on like a house on fire. And I think all the earth signs, like, have you ever seen? There's like trends on TikTok, and it's like that the earth signs, like so Virgos, Capricorns, Tauruses were such judgy pricks. And like, I don't know about you, but like there's been a couple of times that my friend who's a Capricorn has been like, Niamh, you need to watch your face, because like I can't sometimes I don't know that I'm doing it, but if someone's saying something that I disagree with, or I'm like, oh, my face is just like a pure giveaway that I'm judging you. He's like, watch the face. I'm like, oh. So we can all be judgy pricks all together. Yeah. So I don't think I really have a least favorite sign, if I'm being honest. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, again, I've heard the Scorpio kind of, you know, that they're typically like
poor
evil.
Scorpios.
Poor Scorpios. Getting an awful rap out here. But as I said, my mother's a Scorpio, and sure, look, she brought me into the world and I'm mad about her. So look. Yeah.
Will we wrap up? That was a great episode. I think that was fun.
Yeah, that was
really
good. That was good. Yeah,
So,
I like doing our charts. That was good.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, all right, guys.
Okay. See you later.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.
If you liked what you heard today, be sure to follow us on Spotify or subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on Instagram at Tepid Mess Pod.